Welcome to our walk together. Just a few notes. Please hit that subscribe button. Comments are welcome. And if you like it, pass it along. Now to the podcast.
Hello, and welcome to Our Walk Together. This is the place where we have a chance to listen and to learn from others on our walk. My name is Paul Long, and I will be your host, but also a fellow traveler. I'm glad that you're able to join me today on Our Walk Together. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Our Walk Together. It's that time of year when we begin to think about Christmas and all those kinds of things, but we also need to take a pause and think about what we're celebrating. Because every year, as Christmas decorations begin to appear earlier and earlier in stores, I find myself yearning for a deeper spiritual preparation that goes beyond that commercial rush. This search has led me to discover the profound wisdom of the Franciscan tradition, which offers a refreshingly simple yet profound approach to preparing for Advent. The Franciscan path to spiritual preparation stands apart in its emphasis on simplicity, joy, and connection to creation. While many of us struggle with the overwhelming demands of the modern Christmas celebrations, St. Francis's teachings provide us with timeless guidance for meaningful spiritual preparation. In this episode, I hope to explore how the Franciscan tradition can transform our Advent journey from traditional prayers to practical applications in our contemporary world. Together, we will discover ways to embrace this centuries-old wisdom while building a deeper spiritual connection during the season of Advent. The Franciscan approach to Advent brings a unique perspective to spiritual preparation that feels particularly relevant in our modern world. St. Francis of Assisi's profound connection with the Christmas story is perhaps best illustrated through his creation of the first nativity scene at Greccio. This wasn't merely a decorative display. It represented his deep desire to make the Christmas story tangible and accessible to everyone. Watch for the Christmas podcast for more on this. St. Francis's unique approach to Advent is what makes the Franciscan approach distinct. It's distinct in the fact that it has emphasis on active and attentive preparation rather than forceful, impatient goal-seeking. We're invited to enter God's story from a different angle, moving away from asking God to enter our lives and instead seeking ways to enter His story. This shift in perspective transforms how we approach the Advent season. Perhaps one of the most beautiful aspects of Franciscan spirituality is its deep concentration on the natural world. Francis saw the cosmos and all creation as his kin, his family, referring to the sun as brother and the moon as sister. This perspective reminds us that even in winter steppes, we can find God's presence in the shifting displays of original beauty and blessing. I've discovered that spending time in nature during Advent can be a profound spiritual practice. As the Franciscan tradition teaches us, it's nearly impossible to spend time in nature without having some sort of profound spiritual experience. This connection to creation becomes especially meaningful during Advent as we prepare our hearts for the celebration of Christ's birth. This doesn't need to be a long or a significant trip or a long hike or anything like that. Sometimes it's just taking the time to stand outside for a while, especially here in the Northeast where I live. That could be a short while, especially this time of year. Looking deeper into the Franciscan tradition, I've discovered that the core elements of Advent spirituality offer a profound framework for our spiritual preparation. These elements, while centuries old, speak directly to our modern hearts, seeking authentic connection during the Advent season. St. Francis viewed poverty and humility as inseparable twins in our spiritual journey. A man is what he is in the sight of God and nothing more, he reminded us. I've come to understand that this perspective isn't about material deprivation, but rather about recognizing our complete dependence on God. When we embrace these virtues, we free ourselves from the enslavement to possessions that breeds violence. Joy is a spiritual discipline, and in the Franciscan tradition, I've learned that joy differs significantly from mere happiness. While happiness depends on external circumstances, true joy is rooted in our relationship with God. During Advent, this distinction becomes particularly meaningful, as we're called to do a couple things: maintain joy even amid challenges. Focus on relationships rather than results. Trust in God's nearness as the source of our rejoicing. Brotherhood and community celebrations are important during this time. The Franciscan approach emphasizes that our spiritual preparation isn't a solitary journey. Through community service and shared celebration, we strengthen our connection to both God and neighbor. I found that this communal aspect of Advent and Advent preparation helps resist the individualistic tendencies of our modern world. What makes this approach particularly powerful is how these elements work together. When we embrace poverty and humility, we open ourselves to authentic joy, which naturally flows into meaningful community celebration. This integrated approach creates a spiritual preparation that's both deeply personal and wonderfully communal. The sacred rhythms of Franciscan Advent traditions have always fascinated me, with their beautiful blend of prayer and active service. These customs offer us a roadmap for meaningful spiritual preparation that resonates even in our contemporary world. In the Franciscan tradition, I found that prayer during Advent takes on a special significance through structured yet heartfelt practices. The Advent wreath prayers hold a particular importance, with specific intentions for each week. Strength of will in the first week, opening our hearts in the second, celebration and salvation in the third, and preparing for Christ's coming in the fourth. One of my very favorite Franciscan prayer traditions during this season of Christmas is this anticipation prayer. The anticipation prayer traditionally was recited 15 times a day, daily, from November 30th until Christmas. We don't do it quite as much as that now, but the prayer still holds a lot of meaning for us. And before you try writing all this down, it's easily found on the web by typing Christmas Anticipation Prayer in your search engine. The prayer is, "Hail and blessed be the hour and moment in which the Son of God was born of the most pure Virgin Mary. At midnight in Bethlehem in the piercing cold. At that hour, forsake myself, my God, to hear my prayers and grant my desires through the merits of Jesus Christ and his most holy mother. Amen." I've discovered that these prayers, the Advent wreath, the prayer I just recited, they can do a lot to help us. They can help us to transform waiting moments into sacred encounters. They can help us to replace impatience with spiritual mindfulness. They help us to focus on gratitude amid preparation. Those first couple, actually all three of these, we experience them every day. Transform waiting moments. How many times are we waiting in line at the store and we just have to wait? And we can turn that into a sacred encounter. Our impatience during this time of year, everybody's so busy. We're even so busy ourselves that impatience really kind of falls into the season. But replacing that with mindfulness. What are we celebrating? What are we getting ready for? And the focus on gratitude amid all that preparation. The Franciscan approach to community service during Advent takes on profound meaning as we await Jesus by seeing his face in those who are in need. It's important to see that. I've learned that this service isn't just about giving. It's about recognizing Christ in every person we serve. What makes the Franciscan approach to service unique is its emphasis on sustained commitment. While volunteer opportunities surge during the holiday season, I would encourage you to extend your service beyond December. Move to some other time of the year, particularly when volunteer numbers typically decrease after the holidays. Instead of adding yet another one to feel good at Christmas, why not volunteer in June? Why not volunteer during the summer or during the fall? Those are the times when our help is usually really needed. This all aligns perfectly with the Franciscan understanding that when we serve those in need, we are really serving Jesus himself. I found particular inspiration in how the Franciscan tradition connects with Mary's response to the Annunciation with service. Immediately after she found that she would be Jesus' mother, she went to help her cousin Elizabeth, who was also pregnant. This beautiful example reminds us that authentic spiritual preparation naturally flows into practical service to others. In navigating the complexities of modern life, I've discovered that integrating Franciscan values into Advent preparation requires both creativity and commitment. The challenge lies in finding authentic ways to honor these timeless principles while acknowledging our contemporary reality. Practical simplicity in a consumer culture is very, very difficult. As holiday commercialism intensifies, I found that embracing Franciscan simplicity offers a powerful antidote to counter this consumerist tide. A couple of suggestions might be: give meaningful experiences instead of material gifts. Practice intentional spending aligned with your and our spiritual values. Also, while our world becomes increasingly digital, I've discovered that Franciscan values can guide us in creating meaningful connections. It's not all bad. It can guide us by using our Franciscan values, it can guide us in those digital connections that we have. In today's fast-paced environment, communities provide essential support and identity. To build authentic digital connections during Advent, we could create structured opportunities for spiritual sharing. Maybe a Zoom meeting, maybe something on the phone or something like that, to create those times for spiritual sharing. We can encourage active engagement in online prayer groups. There's a lot of them around. And maybe we can do some research into that and find out where they are and engage actively. We can also maintain transparency in our communication. What's particularly striking, is how these modern adaptations align perfectly with traditional Franciscan values. By making conscious decisions and constant choices about consumption, practicing environmental stewardship, and fostering genuine connections, we're not just preparing for Christmas. We're living out the Franciscan vision of live wisely, think deeply, and love generously. And so, in kind of a conclusion, the Franciscan approach to Advent preparation offers us a meaningful alternative to the rushed commercial season. Through my exploration of these ancient traditions, I've discovered that their emphasis on simplicity, joy, and connection to creation remains deeply relevant today. St. Francis's wisdom guides us towards spiritual preparation that transcends mere ritual, encouraging us to embrace poverty of spirit while celebrating authentic joy. This balanced approach helps us to navigate modern challenges without losing sight of Advent's true meaning. The practical application of Franciscan values, from mindful consumption to environmental stewardship, transforms our Advent journey into something both deeply personal and communally significant. These traditions remind us that meaningful preparation involves both inner reflection and outward action through service to others. As we prepare our hearts for Christmas, the Franciscan path shows us that spiritual richness often comes through simplicity, and true joy emerges when we align our lives with all these timeless principles. This ancient wisdom continues to light our way through modern complexities, helping us create an Advent season filled with authentic meaning and genuine spirituality. However you spend your Advent, I pray that it will be fruitful for you and help you appreciate even more Emmanuel, God with us.
thank you for watching. Please take a minute to click that subscribe button below. Get each podcast as it is released. And hey, if you like this, click the thumbs up. Comments are always welcome. If you like this, why not pass it on?
Well, the music means that our time together is at an end. I would like to thank you for walking with me today. It's been a great blessing. All of the information about the podcast is available on the website ourwalktogether.com. Please invite your friends to also listen. You are the best advertisement. And so, until we meet again, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord let his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord look upon you kindly and give you his peace.